Hello everyone, and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pinule, and today we're going to do a full class around wiggling. So when we're in our postures or moving between postures, we're just going to take time to listen to our body and shift and move and maybe stretch some other way that our body is asking for. So listening to the body and giving it what it's asking for, and also listening to the body will help keep you safe. So it will keep you from, if you're that connected to your body, it's going to keep you from doing things that might injure you. So just having those practices, and also it just feels so good to do this. And my body needed it today, so that's why we're having it. Okay, so we start with our easy seated pose to bring ourselves more mindful. But as you get into your easy seated pose, just really wiggle around in that. Try and get try and get some more wiggles out to help you be still and also to help you be comfortable. And don't forget to modify if you need to modify. So I'm just going to be quiet for a little while you settle into your base, while you find your tall spine, while you come to your stillness. And with these next few breath cycles, just simply follow your breath in deeply as it comes into your belly and out fully as it exits. Nice. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So we're going to do a little warming up. We're going to really get the wiggles started. So let's get onto our backs. So first, just lie here. Get your body aligned with the mat, with the floor, with this nice flat surface. And then we'll just do some easy organic stretches. Imagine you're just waking your body up. You're not using the mind, but rather using the body and what it's asking for to initiate the movements. Nice. All right, let's bring the knees in and just gently, slowly move them towards your chest. And then you can introduce some wiggles here. Maybe they're big, maybe they're little. And then you could start moving the knees around. Again, just allowing your body to lead. Seeing all the different ways that your hip socket can move. Exploring. And then with your hands gently on your knees, just make circles, pick a direction. Nice and slow, feel what's happening to the lower back as it traces that circle on the mat. It can be small, it can be big. And let's reverse directions. It's really the pelvis that's making that circle on the mat. And let's find some figure eights. Takes a little more control. If you want to let go of your knees and really let your knees lead, you can do that. You can get some bigger shapes. Nice, finish up, bring your knees back in. We're going to extend the legs up towards the ceiling, extend the arms up towards the ceiling. Wiggle out your fingers and toes. And then your ankles and wrists with the fingers and toes. And then your knees and elbows with the ankles and wrists and fingers and toes. And your shoulders and hips are sort of getting in there too. I like to think of this as a bug stuck on its back. Yeah. All right, a few more little wiggles as you make your way out. Roll over to your side. We're going to come right into a child's pose. And first, just let's be still, settle in, check in with the breath again. Maybe you set an intention for your practice here. Just witnessing what's happening. And then let's start to wiggle that out. So you can reach your arms long. You can walk your hands side to side. You can shift your hips side to side. Take your arms back, turn your head. Lots of different ways that we can wiggle in this position. You get to decide. I'm noticing that because I'm so listening to my body, my eyes keep closing so I can really hear. All right, if you want, widen your knees and find a new starting point for your wiggles. All right, let's lift up. We'll bring the knees back together. Curl the toes under. Well, ultimately you're going to want to be hip width apart with your feet. So just find a down dog first. Work your way into that. Wiggling, wiggling. Setting yourself up. Fingers are spread wide. Yes. Pedal the legs. Maybe just turn the whole body. Dangle the head. Anything that comes to you. Nice. And then we're going to come forward, drop the knees, shift the hips back, and just wiggle and move and flow from a down dog to a child's pose to any other thing that you want to fit in there. You can come to up dog or cobra or all fours, cat cow. Yeah, just listen and move. Make it up. Yeah, pay attention to all the joints, all the places where this wiggling can benefit. And then we're going to meet up in a down dog. We're going to shift our left leg or left foot over towards the center a little bit. Lift up that right leg. Keep the hips square. Just reach back with the ball of the foot. Yes, and then we're going to step forward and find a lunge. And you guessed it, we're going to wiggle in our lunge. So knees tracking over the ankle. Ideally, that heel is over the ball of the foot, though mine tends to shift back because I'm really opening up the back of that leg. And then just keep this long, open. See what's happening. If you need blocks, grab blocks or books or soup cans. First settle, then wiggle, or wiggle, then settle. Working with it. And then we're going to shift that back heel down and just extend that front leg. If you need your blocks here, grab your blocks. We're not going to be here long. We're just going to wiggle and move in and out. Yes, there's a whole body to wiggle. So just because we're focused on this doesn't mean you can't move your head or maybe take your arms, do something. Yeah. And then let's meet back up in our in our lunge position. And then we'll just shift that leg back to our three-legged dog. You can wiggle that a little if you want. And then find your down dog. And if you need to rest at any time, you're always encouraged to do so. All right, we're going to find our down dog again. We're going to shift the right leg toward the left. Lift that left leg up in the air. Square up the hips. Reach that leg long. Push away with your hands. Yes. And then step forward for a lunge. Get yourself situated, get your position, let things sink and open. And you take it from there. We'll bring that back heel down and extend that front leg. Use your blocks if you need them. Try and square up the hips a little bit as you do so. You might need to adjust your feet, which, we encourage because this is all about keeping it moving here. Back and forth from pyramid to lunge and back. Ultimately, we're going to meet back up in our lunge. We'll plant those hands. We'll shift that left leg back to our three-legged dog. Wiggle that if you want, or set it back down. A few more wiggles in the down dog. I love the difference between the first time I take a down dog and about the fourth or fifth time I take a down dog. We have a different relationship. Nice. All right, let's walk our feet to our hands. You probably know that we're going to work in a forward fold here with some wiggles. And there are a lot of different ways we can wiggle in a forward fold. So depending on your flexibility, you work with what's available to you. Yeah, let's just walk our hands up our legs till we're all the way in a standing position. Nice, and then let's wiggle here, of course. Yeah, just get some movement. We have a whole body and we have all of this real estate that we want to be supple and flexible and strong. And so we move it every which way we can. All right, let's step our feet about a leg length apart. So we're going to come into a double horseman's pose or goddess pose where we're going to bring the toes out, heels in, and we're going to set this down with the knees over the ankles. So you're going to need to find out where that is for you. I mean, I can't tell you there's a distance because you might be able to come down this far. You might be able to come down this far or further. So just work with that. The knees are going to want to come in. Let them move to the wall behind you. First, though, we're going to just take our hands here and let's let gravity drop our booty, lengthening our spine, pushing ourselves along by pushing down into the knees. Yeah, and you can give that some wiggles. Beautiful. And then we're going to lengthen here, take the right shoulder forward, the left shoulder back, and spiral the spine. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, shift to the opposite side. And then let's do one more each side and we'll stay for a little bit of a wiggle. What do you notice? Where can you wiggle? Micro wiggles are still wiggles and they're good. Beautiful. Let's come on back up. We're going to bring the feet parallel. You can widen your stance if you want to here. We're going to come into a forward fold. Get yourself aligned. Nice tall spine, neutral pelvis. And then we'll just slide down into a forward fold here. So the hands can rest on your legs. They can come under your shoulders. Maybe your forearms can come forward, depending on your flexibility. Come to the floor. Let's just stay here a few breath cycles, wiggling with our forward fold. You can shift those sit bones side to side. You can undulate the spine. There's lots to work with. And then walk your hands forward a little wide, down dog-ish. Move. Yes. Nice. All right, hands under the shoulders. We're going to shift just right and left. Just start out slow. And then you can start to walk your hands. And maybe you can come all the way down. Just play with that for your body. What does it take? Keep the heel down. Beautiful. And then we're going to find ourselves over on the right side. And then we're going to shift that over to a lunge. We're going to drop the back knee. And just sort of do what we did before in our higher lunge. Wiggle, wiggle. Sit it back. Yeah, back and forth. Keeping it curious and free. And you could throw fun in there. I'm having fun. Nice. We're going to meet up in the low lunge. We're going to curl the toes under, lift up that knee, and then walk ourselves around. Side lunge on the other side. Drop the knee. Yes. And wiggle. Trying to have that movement initiate really from the body's wisdom as opposed to your mind. Knowing that we're not going to do it perfectly. And that's all right. That's fantastic, in fact. So back and forth, the low pyramid, the low lunge. Yeah, meet up forward. Find the lunge, curl the back toes under, lift that knee, and then walk back to center. And let's take a few more breaths of wiggles here if you want to do a little twisting. All right, hands to the hips whenever you're ready. We'll just extend that spine as you lift all the way up. Okay, so you can hop or walk your feet back to center. Wiggle out here. We're going to work in a standing balancing posture, which of course is going to include wiggles. So let's just find our Tadasana, our feet hip width apart, our nice, tall, engaged, aligned spine. Yeah, why don't we find that? Get it really anchored in. Yeah, and then we'll shift over to the right leg. Let's hug that knee up if that works for you. If it doesn't, just lift. Maybe you can just lift behind the thigh. Wherever you are, all we're going to do is keep this same alignment and then wiggle wherever you can wiggle. Wiggling in a standing balancing posture adds a little bit more of a challenge. I can move this knee around maybe. Maybe I lift up my arms. Yes. Explore. Try things. Nice. And I'm sure that there are people out there who have way more flexible bodies and are doing more interesting things than I'm doing. I like that thought. All right, work your way out. We're just going to shift over to the other side. Get that foundation first. Yeah. That's my floor, not my ankle. Do you hear that? Yes. Love this. Okay, work your way out. Any last little wiggles. All right, we're going to come down to all fours. So knees under hips, Hands under shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. Let's wiggle here. So wiggling might just seem like it's a passive, not passive, but a kind of soft way to be. But when you're wiggling, you're actually using your muscles, and it can be vigorous wiggling. You can contract and expand. Nice. All right, we're going to shift this left knee forward up towards the left wrist. Bring the left shin forward, lengthen the right leg back. So we're working in a pigeon pose. There's lots of ways to modify this if you need to modify. There's a whole video on that, which I will include the link. But you just get to wiggle your way into this position. Yes. What's going to help? Feel the openings, feel the possibilities. You can be upright, you can walk it forward. Actually, let's just deal with one little aspect first, then we'll repeat and get a little deeper. All right, let's slide that back into all fours. Wiggle, wiggle. Reset. We'll slide that right knee forward, right shin forward. Left leg comes back. Ankle is towards the heel is towards the ceiling. All right. Let's meet. Back up at all fours. Wiggle, rest anything you need to rest. Always, always give yourself permission to rest. At least I give you permission. All right, let's slide that left knee forward again. Slide the left shin, right leg comes back. Now, if you want to bring it forward, if you haven't already, we'll spend a little more time in whatever works for you, wherever you need to pay attention and spend time. Finding some new angles. Sometimes you try things out and you go, no, that really didn't work. But sometimes you try things out and you're like, oh my gosh, why have I never done that before? All right. Let's shift that back when you're ready. Find your all fours. If you need to do something different with that, you may. And then we'll slide the right knee and shin forward. Left leg comes back. I think you know what to do. Still getting curious, or staying curious. All right, let's work our way out. Coming into all fours. Just sit the heels back. Let's just sit on our heels for a few breath cycles and wiggle here. You can modify this if you need to. There are lots of ways to be in this pose that aren't quite so extreme. There's a video for that. Beautiful. All right, let's just slide down onto our bellies. And reach long. And wiggle. You can even do some log rolls. Beautiful. All right. Let's take our chin in our hands. Yeah, wiggle out anything, everything. Lift the chin. We'll take the elbows under the shoulders. Or can you make some openings? This is the best. All right, we're going to take the hands where the elbows were. And so as we move into whatever sort of cobra you want, make sure that your shoulders stay away from your ears. Your elbows can reach back towards your heels to help that. Fingers are spread wide. Let that opening strength come from the back. Legs reaching long. Doesn't matter the distance. Just play with your cobra. But don't get bit. Nice. And then let's lower back down. We'll just rest here with our forehead on our hands and wiggle. Any last little movements here? Yes. All right, hands under shoulders. Let's come down onto our backs. Start by hugging the knees in. Wiggle that out again. Feet to the mat, knees bent. Wiggle here. You can push into the tops of the femurs and wiggle that way. Remember your arms. Yeah, and then let's extend the legs. Get really nice and long. Yes, open. Big wiggles or small. And let's squeeze those knees in again. Bring the nose up. Really contract that front body. You can still wiggle. And then let's take that into yogi bicycling. So opposite elbow to opposite knee. You choose the speed. Nice. All right, let's come on back. Squeeze. Let's take the feet back down. We're going to squeeze the left knee in and wiggle here, opening, whatever. And then let's take the top of that foot in our hands and find whatever kind of opening you can create here. The leg is just in the lane with the hip, and you're wiggling, big or little. And then let's release that foot, extend that leg up. Yeah. It's just really wonderful to spend this kind of time connecting with our bodies this way and giving them permission to be a little more free. Nice. All right, let's hug that leg in again. And we'll just switch sides. So right knee's coming in. And then extending it. Oops, nope, taking the top of that foot. Just grabbing onto the ball of the foot and the toes. Yeah. And then release the foot. Extend that leg up. All right, give it another squeeze. Back down. So knees are bent, feet are on the mat, feet are hip width apart. We're just gonna lift and lower that lower back. So rotating the pelvis or tilting the pelvis forward and back. You choose how vigorous this action is for you. Yeah, back and forth, find the range. Feel the strength. And you can wiggle that. Yeah. Nice. All right, let's take that into a neutral position. Take your arms by your sides, palms down. Tuck those shoulder blades under. Just gonna lift up. Come into a bridge pose, half bridge. Find your position, lift, open, wiggle. You can include the arms if that feels right or normal to you. And then lower back down whenever you're ready. Let's walk the feet a little closer to the bottom. Wiggle here, get set up, come into your bridge pose, wiggle, wiggle. Maybe you can make a clasp on those feet. Maybe that's a possibility. Or maybe you can come up high enough to take your hands underneath. That's another possibility. A block under there is as well. Giving yourself a position where you can feel free to wiggle. Maybe you can lift and lower one side. Yeah, and whenever you're ready, set it back down, wiggle, wiggle. Come into a squeeze again and just shift right and left. Rock side to side. Back to center. And then take yourself through any last shapes, wiggles, movements, postures that your body is asking for, which, because you've been connecting so much and so well with your body, you'll probably be able to hear it. And remember, they can be prescribed yoga postures, or they can just be something that you make up. But because you're listening, you're keeping your body safe. And then wherever you are, you can start to wrap that up if you want. Make your way into your Shavasana. Just really set that pose up. Find that position that you can completely do the opposite of wiggling. Completely release and let go, so that there's no tension in maintaining your posture. There are a lot of ways to modify this pose. Yep, there's a video. Just be quiet for a while you just stay with yourself and witness this release, this softening. These next few breath cycles, see if there's any last little places that can soften and release. And then we can start to introduce some movement again. Just being careful not to disturb all of that beautiful, gentle stillness. And you can find your way on your side whenever you're ready. And then make your way up to your seated pose. If you can keep your eyes closed, it's just nice to keep that focus and attention inward for a little while longer. If you want to wiggle here, go ahead. If you want to just be still, that's great too. Just going to take a few more breath cycles of connection Checking in, what is it like to be us right now? What do you notice after your class? And take a few more breath cycles, feeling that breath reach all the way, filling your whole being and maybe beyond. Nice, everybody. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. I love that you are here. I hope that this felt great in your body and that you get to take that out into your day with you. And if you like this and you want more, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And if you have any questions or comments, please put those in the section below. All the best.